Okay. Welcome everybody to our GIA presentation this morning. This is really a training. I talked to Jeff yesterday, and welcome to all our new guests. If you look at our product line, which is showing right now, we have an extensive product line, and the vision of the company here at GIA is really to provide a product line where we all can make a lot of money. That's what the general purpose is. That we are to have a company where this is a networking company where you and I can start a business from home and build a part-time, hopefully a full-time business. If it is just about a product line, then we'd all be just customers. And the real mission of the company is to allow us to make money, is to have a great compensation plan, but more importantly, have a product line that's new, exciting, and that can hopefully go all around the world and really impact people. And when Jeff first started, his whole business was around these energetic patches and the cards and the freshness card, which we all know about, that you can see on here, and now even with pets, because we know that the cutting edge of medicine, in my opinion, is going to be energy medicine. It is a up and coming field. More and more people are learning about it, and it can really impact everybody's life. But we decided as a leadership, and Jeff was really a spearhead on this, to add to all of this a new coffee, a hard product, what we call it, something that could really synergistically go into the mix of what we got. And that we're going to talk today, he wanted us to really cover today was this product, our Energetics coffee. And it is an amazing, amazing, amazing product. And when you look at when you look at this right here, what pure coffee or energy crafted for your health, wellness, and performance and longevity. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about how many people drink coffee. Susie, I don't know if you drink coffee, but I drink coffee, and all my friends do. And if you don't drink coffee, I know you know people that do. It is the #1 selling beverage around the world outside of water for what people drink. And it's something that has a good vibe. The reason he talks about good vibes, people love the taste of coffee. If you haven't been by a Starbucks or this or that, it is a phenomenal drink. And what better to actually deliver nutrients or have what we call benefits from the coffee. What is your thoughts on being able to take coffee right now?
Me?
Yep.
What are my thoughts on having a coffee business? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, it's really a no-brainer, George, because, it's like you said, next to water, coffee is the most popular beverage in the world. And one of the things I like about this in our business, not only do we have the best product on the market, but people already know what coffee is, right? And they already like it. They already drink it. We're not trying to really sell them on something they've never done before. But what we are trying to do is to get them to try the best coffee out there, because people are always interested in, getting the most bang for their buck and getting the best results. So the fact that this is something that people already know about and that they're going to be really surprised when they taste. I know that people today are making absolute fortunes in the coffee business. And those products are definitely inferior. They do not have the monster stack that we have. And the ones that I've tasted, they taste horrible. I said, I can't drink something I don't like. And I thoroughly enjoyed the flavor of this. So I'm very excited about it.
Coffee is something that's also one of the easiest products to sample. And I want to go over this page real quickly. What is it about Energetics this product that the NRG coffee that Jeff has come up with? What is it that makes it so phenomenal? Well, first of all, I want you to look at the tremendous blend of different ingredients he has in here. What Jeff's mission on this product was to create the greatest coffee that had benefits, that is really could impact somebody's life positively, and really give them the uplift they need. And there are three different areas that he's looking for in this mix. First of all, you notice we have some organic coffee. He had the coffee and the cocoa. This blend makes it a very smooth coffee. It's amazing that you can actually take this black and have it taste good. Now, most people are going to want to add some kind of cream or creamer, and then I use stevia or something like that. It almost makes it like a milkshake. But the mere fact that you can actually take it black, because it kind of masks all that acidity that most coffee has. It's a great tasting coffee. Everybody's ever tried it has said that. Number two, you look at the green tea and these things. These are to give you a boost in the energy level. One of the things we want to create in this coffee is even more energy. What are the three people often complain about, Susie? Number one is, I don't have the energy through the day to really go hard. Number two is, I don't know about you, but you get that mental fog, you know, that kind of laziness. So Jeff wanted to put in these ingredients called nootropics. What are nootropics? They are specific molecules, natural ingredients that we have that go to the brain and give it that mental clarity, mental focus, almost a happiness factor. This was really critical for him, and that's where you see some of these names you might not know, like in the lion's mane. Lion's mane, you just look at this, it's amazing, amazing, amazing. Then, outside of that, he also wanted to get into the weight loss arena. So he has various aspects here to help us lose weight. When you talk about now drinking a coffee, you can just ask people what coffee they're asking. Are you taking coffee with benefits? What do you mean, what benefit? Well, how would you like to have more energy, have a happiness mood going on, and lose a few pounds? Who would want to do that? Susie?
I'm in.
So if you look at these ingredients, and you can on your own, and I mean, just take collagen, for example. This is a huge thing coming on Facebook. I see it all the time because it's so great for your skin. I mean, he has packed into this. His goal was to make this unlike any other coffee in the market, whether in or out of network marketing, so that we would have an upper hand throughout the world and having something that nobody else has, in a way, delivered in a way that is just easy for everybody to take. And I was going to play that little testimonial last week from Tanya, where she said how great she feels. And if you haven't heard that, just go in your back office and then scroll down and you'll see it in there under last week's training. Just listen to her testimony. I'm going to pull it up in just a minute anyways. But here are the benefits. Feel good, mood, emotion, increase your focus and clarity, increase health energy, increase the immune system, support fat metabolism and nourish the body, support weight loss, support the body's natural sugar levels, support your body's cardiovascular system, and support your skin, hair, and nails. That's where the collagen comes from. So that is what our products are designed to do. And, you know, it'd be great. I'd even take it if it didn't taste that good, but the mere fact it tastes so good is absolutely amazing. Well, I wanted to go out to at least to one or two people who have actually tried this product. And Dr. Goth, are you out there?
I'm here, George.
Hey, Dr. Goth, I mean, you've been with us in the beginning. You love our patches and what they can do in our card and the Freshness card. We all know we've had so many trainings that this is the cutting edge of medicine, the cutting edge, I think, of health. But, you know, not everybody, when you have something that is on the forefront, sometimes it takes, you know, the population to start to really buy into it. But you don't have to talk anybody to coffee, do you?
Well, you don't have to talk me into coffee. When I was a resident in training, and I was literally awake 2 to 3 days in a row, I used to drink 10 to 20 to 30 cups of coffee a day. Now, I don't have the time to do that now, but I usually drink about 3 to 5 cups, because if you look at some research, drinking 3 to 5 cups a day for people that are older than 45 does decrease the risk of dementia by 65%. Now, when you couple that with all the ingredients in the NRG coffee, and it blows my mind to see what everything's in there. Most of those things I'm very familiar with. Some of those things I'm not. But I did get a couple of sample packs from the company literally 2 or 3 weeks ago. And right away, I took one of the packs. And, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
I took one of the sample packs and made coffee. And I'll tell you what, and it was what, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd been working since 7. I was getting a little tired. Energy was not what it was early in the day. And I took a cup of that coffee and drank it. And I'll tell you what, it was energy on fire again in my body. Although the energy was big, I was still not, it was controlled energy. It was energy that you don't get shaky, you don't get nervous. It was a good controlled energy that I felt. And I said, oh my goodness, this is going to be the greatest product, at least for me and some of the people I'm introduced it to that I've ever seen in the coffee world. Now, I'm not an expert at coffee. I'm not an expert at some of these other companies that market coffee, but I don't really feel any of these other companies have a coffee like this. So that's my story. And I love all the Aegea products, by the way, guys. I think every one of these products is world class. Obviously, we're focusing on the coffee business right now, which we need to focus on because that's going to jettison this thing all around the world. But guys, this is a great company, great products, great classy leaders. You know, George and Susie, I love working with you guys, and I appreciate you guys a lot.
Thank you, Doc. That was a great overview. Susie, you've had a, Doc, we love working with you. And I think what I love about a company is how sincere and how heartfelt everybody is. This isn't just about each of us, you know, helping ourselves. We really believe in that this is a team effort. So Susie, what you've got to try the coffee and see a couple of results. What is your view on the coffee and what you're hearing as far as the taste and everything else?
Well, you know, my first thought when I tasted the coffee, you know, I thought back to my experience of tasting another company's coffee, and I did not like it. I felt like it tasted like instant coffee, so it was an immediate turnoff. So when I drank Pure Energy, the very first thing I said to myself was, wow, this tastes like brewed coffee. Then I noticed that there was no aftertaste. I didn't experience any kind of acidity, and it was black coffee. There was no sweetener in it, which I actually appreciated. So I tried it without, you know, I just tried it plain, and then I added the sweetener that I prefer to it, like I would do my own coffee. And I just had a feeling of lightness, alertness, and I had woken up that morning with something kind of, you know, on my mind bothering me. And I noticed that it just seemed to like float away somewhere. And normally, I hate to say this, but I would normally drink about 32 ounces of coffee every morning. But I instead of having my regular coffee, I just had the Pure Energy. I had one cup of it. That's all I had. And I just felt, the best way I could describe it was just a healthy energy, just alert and vital, you know, no, you know, it wasn't too much. It just felt healthy and natural to maybe the way I felt when I was younger. So I had a very positive experience with it.
Well, I love that. And what I wanted to do real quickly was to play a little video. I want to kind of recap what we did last week. Remember when you interviewed Tanya for just a minute?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for some reason I can't seem to get that just set the way I want it. But give me a second. But tell us what was impressive about what you heard with Poland, because I think that's very important.
Well, the Polish people are just very excited about the coffee. Two of our big leaders over there tried the coffee. They sampled it, and they said that within 10 minutes, they just felt happy. And when they looked at each other and said, well, how do you feel? And the other one said, well, how do you feel? They said they just burst out laughing, that they were just happy. And so they're very excited about this and growing very strong.
I wanted to show, this is in the back office, you can actually hear it. So when you get there.
Of all this experience, like later on, it was for me easy to share with people because, of course, behind the company is always the story, the testimonials, and the people joining not the company itself, but us. And as you said before about the Maymays, oh my gosh. I have to tell you two different totally experiences because the second time I was totally surprised as well. The first time when we drank coffee with George, not with George, with Greg, we put too much water. And we were drinking it, and we're like, okay, the taste is like, we didn't taste it, and Jack wrote that probably, you know, the and, you know, we were drinking it, and it's like this, we were wondering how it's going to work. And after 15 minutes, it was like, literally looked at the watch guys. Actually, we started laughing. Like, we look at each other and start laughing, and we were wondering, I wonder if it's a coffee or it's just a pot. And actually, Greg started laughing at me because actually I looked like, how they call this little animal, surrogate? But, you know, I was like, you know, my head was all over the whole place because we were in the coffee shop, and I saw literally so many details, and I was like, oh my God, what they put into the coffee. Like, and then,
the reason I like that, everybody, is that there's one thing I want you to take from this training is that Jeff did a lot of work to get to this point to create this coffee for us. We're all in love with all our different energetics, and I'm telling you that what you need to have is the ability to impact people quickly. Now, look at how she smiles when she's talking. I always tell people, Susie, if you're going to build a business, you got to be smiling. They don't want to join something that's depressing. And what this effect that she's getting on her, she's actually experiencing are primarily the nootropics and the energy. When you talk about, you can see everything around you and everything's more clear. And what that is, it's a very gentle way by which you can release the endorphins, the dopamines, all those components in your mind that make you happy, that make you clear. And what I love about it, it's a very gentle way to do it. And think about how many people you know today, first of all, that drink coffee, and number two, would love to have a feeling every day of being more happy. I can't think of anybody at the call, Susie, if I asked them, hey, would you like to feel more happy today? They would say no. Would you agree?
That's a nice little tagline. I'm writing it down.
So we spent a little bit of time here on really going through what we've got here at Agea. And it is an amazing, amazing, amazing company. And Jeff, as I said, wanted to really talk about this live pure energy coffee and how we can actually grow our business. It's going to start shipping here in just a little bit. But let's talk about what it is you're going to see, what you can do with it. First of all, we got another week before it really starts to come out. Here's what I would do. I would do the basics, which is make your list again. And I'm going to bring up a little training right now of what I think we need to do. So what can we do in the next week and a half before we start, and then once we get this coffee? This is what I would do. Number one, I would make my list all over again. And these are kind of just some basic principles that I always live by. If you put a dedicated, consistent effort into your business, chances are you will find the success you're looking for. And that's a lesson in itself. Approach business seriously and you might get the good results. Now, what does it mean by seriously? That means you've got to carve out some time. You have to have a system. The network marketing is about communication. It's following a system. It's teamwork, it's duplication, and it's promoting events. This is an event today. And a lot of us didn't pick up the phone, including me, and call some people early on or text them. One of the things you should do when you really get turned on, I want you to think about when you get this coffee and you're feeling that good, you just want to call everybody, and you want everybody to have that. And so what you want to do is you want to convey that to people in a happy, excited way, because people like happiness. People like to make money, and people like to have products that improve their life. That's what we have here at Agea. So what I want you to remember is that you want to have your beliefs ready, and Susie, you talk about this, your belief, your posture, and your enthusiasm. Can you touch on those two real quickly, because you do a good job at it?
Belief, posture, and enthusiasm are probably the most important components to building a business. I mean, that's it. And one of the things that you notice about Kanya, you know, she has an accent. The audio was not all that great, but didn't we get the message anyway, right? Because we could feel her energy, we could see her enthusiasm. And so that's really all you have to have. And it's that belief that this coffee is amazing. And you can look at the ingredients and see for yourself. And then you convey that to people when you talk with them. You, just like George said, you got to smile, you got to have that energy, and that's what's going to be attractive to people. So really, this is a simple business if you can just, you know, learn to have that belief and that confidence and really love people enough that you want to better their lives with what you want to share with them.
It really is. And I'm going to talk about the first strategy here before I go through some scripts, and that is sample to recruit. And that's customers and reps. Okay. One of the easiest ways for us to build our business is to sample. Now, there's good ways to sample, and there's poor ways to sample. You don't want to be like somebody handing out a sample to every single person that walks by. You're going to go broke.
Right.
You really have to qualify somebody before you send out a sample. But we talked earlier about the freshness card and all of our products. We have a very demonstratable line. And I want to think about everybody out here. How many times have you bought something without at least doing some investigation? We want to try it. We certainly do that with cars. We do that with houses. We do that a lot of times before we try anything, or we ask somebody else's opinion, or before I go to the movie, I look at a review. I really like to try something. I like those. That's why they do those previews. Why? They want to get you hooked on just a little sample of what it is that you want to go. So Susie, one of my favorite ways to build your IKEA business is sample to recruit. So why don't you talk a little bit about that, because you do want to be selective on who you say it to. I'm going to go through a few scripts that you can use that process.
Well, exactly, and that is a very important point. So when you're sampling the product, you know, like George said, I mean, we don't want to be arbitrary about it, but we want to share this with people that are influencers. Okay, we don't have to necessarily take a business approach with them, but we want them to be people of influence, so that when they get a positive result with the product, they will either want to share it with other people, they'll want to be a loyal customer, or, you know, they may want to build a business. So it's important that we pick people who are well connected, positive people, people that you would like to be around is what I would recommend.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to suggest everybody does when they get off this call is go back to the basics again. And we want to use all strategies. We do want to use social media. We want to use Facebook. We do want to use all the tools at our disposal. But one of the greatest...
George, can I interrupt you for just a second?
Sure.
You see this list right here? So this is my list of all the people that I want to share the coffee with. And when I scroll on Facebook every day, I say, I want that person. I want that person. I want that person. And so I'm building my list of influencers, and I would recommend that everybody else do that as well. Thank you, George.
Absolutely. You know, I turned off this doggone Google thing, but it won't stop. Anyways, I look at this, and you want to scroll through Facebook, you want to go through your phone again, you definitely want to go through your messenger, you want to go to all the business cards you have on your desk, where, I mean, you should have tens. I mean, Suze, look at this list, and I'm like everybody else. I haven't taken these cards apart, and these are all people I met. We all fall short of putting our list together. It is your biggest asset. We all imagine we can just put out some things and people are going to magically sign up. It's not going to happen. You have to first start with a list. I don't know anybody who's built a networking business who didn't start with a list. But write it out. This is a great time to restart and relaunch your business. You want to launch your business. You don't want to just join. Launching means you got to let everybody know you're in business. You don't really care whether they join you or not, or they become a customer. But think about this. Most of the people you know drink coffee. Now, you're not concerned whether they join as a distributor. You're more concerned that they get on the coffee and just even become a customer. If we all did that, we'd explode our business. So for me, you got to start with making that list. Now, once you make that list, you got to understand that recruiting is a process. It's not an event. It's often not a one-call close. You don't prejudge, and then you start to make the call. Now, I want to talk about this number 3 here. You have to get over the fear of the phone, the fear of talking to others. This fear is so strong in most of us, it prevents us from talking to people in Starbucks, it prevents us from talking to people in the grocery line, it prevents us from picking up the phone. Everybody has this fear to one degree or another. And I remember Danny Johnson, who's a great trainer, and she talked about she only had $2.67 left in the checking account. So when she called somebody, and she got a lead, she would pounce on it. When she got a name, she would call it right up. Most people aren't that desperate. And since we're not desperate, we don't have that sense of urgency. You've got to learn to pick up the phone. But here's the neat thing. With our neat little video I played earlier on, you can just text them the video. I mean, if you just took 10 messages, 10 people a day, and just text them that little video on the Gia coffee, you'd be surprised at how many people will respond to it. But I want to give you a couple of scripts that you can use, and I'll send these out later, Tanya. Susie, I'll send these out later. But these are 4 scripts I came with, and maybe you and I can come together with a few more. And I'm just going to read them to you. So, for example, I might say, "Hey, Mark, how are you?" They'll say, "Great." "Look, Mark, I have a simple question." "Sure. You drink coffee?" "Yes, of course." The reason I'm asking is I'm launching a new amazing ENERGENTICS coffee design that tastes great, lose weight, and makes you happy and give you all the energy you ever want in a healthy, delicious way. I'm looking for a few people I know to give it a try. If I sent you a sample, would you mind giving me feedback? And if you liked it, would you consider being my customer? Now, Susie, if I send that to you, if a friend of you said that to you, how would you respond?
I would say yes, because there's no pressure. You're not asking me to join a business. You're not asking me to do anything except taste something, and if I like it, get it for myself. So I think it's very non-assuming, and I like it.
Thank you. Very few people will say no to a sample because it has really behind it the magic understanding of free. And when something is free, people tend to just want to say, especially if it's a friend, how are they going to say, "No, I won't take a sample"? It would be very weird for them to say that. Second one. Go ahead.
One thing I would just add is that you want to have a little caveat with people and say, "Mark, now the only caveat is you have to try it within 24 hours of receiving it." Okay.
Yes.
Because you don't, and then you ask them, "Would that, can you do that?" Because you don't want somebody to say, "Oh, I haven't gotten to it yet. I haven't gotten to it yet." No, you'd have to commit to trying it within 24 hours of receiving it.
Yeah. If I take the time. By the way, guys, I was a high school teacher for 15 years, so there will be a test after this. If I take the time to send this to you, I like to kill this thing. I'm just getting all these things up here. If I take the time to send it to you, will you promise that you try it and give me your feedback? Okay, so that's exactly what I would say. Now, a second way to do it, a second approach might be, "Hi, Mark, how are you?" "Great. Look, you and I talked a while ago about making some serious money. Are you still open?" "Great. I think I found that." So this is where you go after somebody who you think really wants to make some money, which is different than the first one. The first one I did because I have certain people, I really don't want to approach them with a business, or I've done it before, or I just want to get them on the product, hoping that they'll either become a customer. I'm sure they'll become either a customer or a distributor. But here we have this right here where, "Hi, Mark, how are you?" "Great. Look, You and I talked a while ago about making some serious money. Are you still open? Great. I think I found the mother lode. We have a beverage like none other. It is the #1 beverage in the world outside of water, and we just made it in a way no one else has. Can you guess what it is? And the reason I asked them that, Susie, is when you call somebody, you really want to get them into a conversation. So when you ask a question, they'll tend to respond. And it's kind of a fun question. Do you know what the #1 beverage in the world is?
The other thing that's powerful about that, George, this is like $1 million training right here, is that it gets them to lean into you. Instead of you cramming information down their throat, they're leaning in because you've asked them a question. And people love for you to ask them questions, right?
It does, and it gets the conversation going. And then what I say next is, right, coffee, but not just any coffee. It is a coffee. We have a coffee that not only tastes better than anyone else's, provides 3 main benefits: abundant energy, amazing uplifting mood, and effective weight loss. Now, Mark, if we had a product this effective, do you think we could make some money? There's another killer question, because you're not asking them, hey, let's make some money, let's join my company right now. You're really getting them engaged in a conversation about, and you're getting them to admit that you need to have something that really hits home, a product or service that people want. You see, you get them to agree to this. Don't we want to have a product that everybody's looking for? Yes. Don't we want to have a product that everybody's already using? Yes, because you don't have to talk them into it. You don't have to talk people into taking coffee. They're already doing it. But are they getting coffee with benefits? Why do you want to just drink coffee and then have no effect to it other than the caffeine stimulant? So we do all of that, plus have all these other ingredients. So it's actually what we call coffee with benefits. So here's another killer question. Now, Mark, if we had a product this effective, do you think we could make some money at it? They're going to basically say, of course. Give me information right now, and I'll sign you up so you can start making money in the year. You go right for the kill right here. Just try to get them signed up. Then you can upgrade them to one of the packages. Now, if they hem and haw a little bit, you're going to go back to, I'm going to send you a sample. You know, I started networking in '92. I've sent samples out every single business. I can't think of a business I haven't sent samples out. Easy of you.
So George, if I could just interject something, I know we'll probably say this at the end, but if people haven't ordered their coffee, it's important that they order the coffee enough for themselves and then enough to share. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a special going on right now. We have double fast start. We have double commissions. I think double BB. I think everybody understands that. We're doing that because we're revving up for this great coffee launch, and we couldn't wait till we. That was a good thing to bring up right now. So I want to finish with a couple more of these, and then we'll call it a day. Mark, how are you? Great. Can I ask you a question? You know what the #1 beverage is? And I went through that. Sorry. I ran across an amazing company that markets a new energy coffee that increases your happiness, energy, and helps you lose weight all at the same time and tastes delicious. I got a sample myself, and I've never tried any coffee that tasted this good. Maybe it improved my mood. And listen to this, Mark. I lost 3 pounds in less than a week. I was so impressed, I decided to join the company. Would you like to try that too? So I'm going to give you these different ones that we have that are icebreakers. You can actually read them. They won't even know you're reading. And you write out your own script and get this coffee out into people's hands. I've always said, he who samples the most, Susie, is going to win. So, and then this last one, and I'll send these out. Mark, did I catch you at a good time? Great. Look, I just had an amazing experience on a new coffee. It tastes great, so on. So let me send these out to you. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll ask them, let me ask you this one question. Have you kept your options open to making more money? Or are you making enough money? No. You've got to look at this. It's phenomenal. Can I send over some information? One other way I would mention is sending emails and texts out as a follow-up, and then you want to do a 3-way call. So under this, once you do any of these 3 things and you send out the product, so if I was sending out, once I got in the commit either as looking as a customer or as a rep, and I send out the sample, I'm going to then follow up the next day, Susie. I'm going to start sending them testimonials on the product. I'm going to start sending them information just like Jeff does. Get them familiar with what's coming. I can't wait for you to get the coffee. I might call them up the next day and say, Susie, the coffee's on the way. You can't believe it. You got to hear this testimonial. I had a friend of mine, blah, blah, blah. It's all about communication, setting the expectation, and following up with people. And that's how you build a big idea business with this coffee. We're also going to have, then you can chime in, we're going to teach you how to do tasting parties or coffee, what we call coffee clashes or coffee parties at your house. Come on over and try this new coffee. There's a lot you can do with this product. Susie?
I'm very excited. You know, I built a business that paid me over $1 million. And the system that we used, we were marketing a beverage. We pushed play on a DVD and we let them taste the product. The product did nothing for them because they didn't have enough for it to do anything, but they knew what the product, you know, what was in the product. And we just did that over and over and over again. And I was so passionate about the benefits of the product that, I mean, I sponsored hundreds of people, which meant that I had to, I mean, I sponsored over 200 people. That means I had to have talked to probably over 500 people. Now that's me, you know, because I enjoyed sharing it. But the message I want to get to you is it is a numbers game. And if you share this coffee with enough people, the video, and you have them taste it, you can build an amazing global business. But you've got to taste it, feel it, drink it, share it, do it.
Great. Well, I wanted anybody to give a final word. Frank, if I could call you back on, you there, or we have Dr. Al. Are you there?
Hello there, Mr. George.
Hey, Dr. Al. You there? Hey, David. We got a famously David Black. David, you there? Hey, David.
Well, hello, George. This is Frank.
Hey, Frank. How you doing, buddy? I was just going to open up. You know, I love your trainings, Frank, and I wanted you to give your view on the coffee and where we see it going.
Well, I was one of those that was lucky enough about 2 or 3 weeks ago to get a couple of samples in the mail. In fact, we got it one afternoon. The next morning, we were leaving to go to North Carolina, which is over a 600-mile trip for us. So that morning, we actually brought it out and made the coffee. I didn't have to make a big pot and get rid of it real quick before we left again, so it was convenient, number one. And I had heard the testimonies already about how people felt good and all of that after they drank their coffee. And I'm sitting there going, I just had a conversation a couple of weeks earlier with Eric and told him, I don't think I can get excited about this coffee, because every coffee that I've ever had that was instant, whether it was in marketing or whether it was off the shelf, tasted like crap.
Yeah, it did.
It was terrible. And I mean, I said, and I'll be honest, I can't tell somebody that it's good. I can tell you it has some good stuff in it, but I can't tell you it's great tasting and all that if it isn't. And he told me about, you know, getting it linked up with this big major national company chain that is headquartered out of Atlanta, to help them with the taste or the taste of the coffee. And that's what actually held the coffee up so long from getting it in and getting it produced, from what I understand. And Jeff just wanted it all correct. And I'm glad he did, because the coffee was the first coffee that, like Susie said, it reminded me of brewed coffee. And Susie, you don't drink enough coffee. I'm more of that 32 to 48 or 50, you know. We make a 12-pot cup. My wife has one of these, and I drink the rest of it during the day. So anyway, the one thing I found was on that 600-mile trip, we took our coffee, we drank it. In 10 to 20 minutes, you had a hard time not smiling. And you looked at the other guy, this is neat, you know? I mean, did I smoke something or what? I mean, that's how you felt. It was really good. And I think I had one other cup on that 600-mile trip. And I've diet ordered. I'm still waiting for it to come in. I already know that A lot of that first order is going to be people that I'm going to sample it with. Yeah, I know we could maybe push the company to get more samples out in the field, but the reality is it takes a little bit of money invested to create a longer term income and money. So I don't mind buying some of the coffee and sharing it with family and friends and inviting people over or going over to their house and say, hey, you got a minute? I know you like coffee. Let's do this. And then just look at them 10, 20 minutes after they're done and ask them, how you feel? I mean, they got to laugh at you. I mean, they're just going to go, I don't know, well, if you would, would you like to feel like that every day? Let me show you how to do that. Anyway, that's my take on it.
It really is. So we really do have an amazing cup of coffee here. And Susie, I'm going to end the call today, and thanks everybody for being on. Hope those scripts help. Hope you understand of what makes our coffee so powerful. I think it's amazing. So Susie, why don't you end it and kind of sum it up for us?
Well, I tell you, if I were you, I would do what I'm doing. You know, I've got my list. I'm excited to share this with people. I love sitting down and talking with people over coffee. And now it's going to be over the opportunity to drink a life-changing coffee for their health, but also for their wealth. If I were you, I would set a goal as to how many people you want to share this with immediately. Maybe, you know, I would say minimum of a goal of sponsoring 10 people with this product. And I believe with all my heart that if you share this with enough people, you got the whole month of July to work your goal. I think everybody who's got that belief, who's got that passion, and who will step out in faith can be successful at that. And this is just the beginning. I mean, this is the ability to have a global business from your home. I recommend you advertise with some of these graphics on social media. I'm already getting ready to sponsor 2 people on LinkedIn just from a graphic that Jeff put together. So people use social media to look for recommendations today. Everything has changed. That's where they go to shop, look for hot products. So you have an opportunity. And the last thing I'm going to say is if you're on Facebook, you should be adding at least 5 new people every day. And just start asking people some of these questions. Do you drink coffee? Do you know anybody who drinks coffee? And boom, 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 boom. Set yourself some daily goals, stay the course, and you can get to the top. Thank you, George.
Well, thank everybody for joining us. It's been a great, I think it's been a good contribution. Susie did a great job. I appreciate it so much. Everybody being on, Dr. Goff and Frank and everyone else that contributed. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you Tuesday night. Good night.
Thank you.